It's time to put your costume on and listen to the Long Con. Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Long Con Podcast. This is episode 32, where we discuss conventions, cosplay, and other facets of geek culture. My name is Kevin.
My name is also Kevin.
This is Nick.
And then I
Tauntaun.
couldn't see the Tauntaun in his little picture, but when it brought up to him as full, I saw the Tauntaun. I go, I swear, if that licks him while Bly's talking, I'm gonna laugh.
He's real.
And this is Dale. Hey,
Sure.
If that Tauntaun licked him, I'm done. I'm just gonna walk away.
He's alive.
He's a little small Tauntaun, isn't he? Baby
He's a
Tauntaun.
6-scale Tauntaun.
Is it just as smelly as the large scale ones?
No, he's made of polystone, Kevin. He doesn't actually have a smell. You know that, right?
Star Wars isn't real.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned about Kevin.
Well, someone has to be.
Okay, well, speaking of Star Wars, this is the last podcast we're going to have before The Force Awakens comes out. So
Well, there went that outline.
yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I'll just delete
That's
this
gotta be a
outline.
new record.
All right, so that's a thing that's happening. But Dale, you had a birthday earlier this month.
It's true. Otherwise, I'd like to call it gaming month for us.
It's true. November is always a big gaming month.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah,
usually
absolutely.
pretty easy to get you gifts because there are so many games that come out around your birthday.
I know. I don't know if the gaming industry really likes me or just hates me because they think I have too much free time in one
I think
I
they
feel that
just
one.
I think they just like Christmas time because it makes them lots of money.
November isn't Christmas.
It's the time before Christmas time where people
So is
buy
October through January.
gifts, where people
Hold
buy
on, Dale. If we go by the Coles calendar, then Christmas starts in July.
It's true. It's true. Boston store had a fucking tree hanging up and before October hit, so, whatever.
It's definitely true. Well, we'll get to hype later. That Christmas hype.
We will.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Oh, we're suddenly following the outline now?
Yeah.
That went from 0
Oh,
to 60 back to 0 pretty fast. What?
So, okay, Dale, you've got some stuff there.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
I don't. It's a shield.
It looks like Gollum.
What?
It looks like Gollum from the Rankin Bass Hobbit
who?
cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I thought you
what?
meant like Gollum from like
Lord of the
Peter
Rings.
Jackson's Lord of the Rings.
No,
not
from
like-
the cartoon, the old
Yeah,
Gollum.
no,
where he
I
looks like a
totally-
frog.
Yeah, I get you.
Yes.
He's definitely
So
more frog-like.
I received a scarf and a shield from Bly for my birthday.
Yay!
So I'm
And
going to be
Jen.
second
Jen.
Alistair.
Jen bought the scarf. I bought the
Yes.
made the armor.
I
So-
actually made the armor.
Uh huh. Nick
It
going
is,
in
I
and
see
taking
the-
credit for my stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
see
was-
the chain mail in here, so it works out pretty well. I love how you
Yeah.
did the... Yes. So now I'm going to only have my face as any sort of ability to dissipate heat when I'm in costume.
Soon we'll cover that. I'll make you the Orlesian mask you had on Varric.
Yeah.
Then you won't be able to. You'll just pass out, and we'll take all of your stuff.
You won't even know if I'm in there or not.
Dale, we will. You'll pass out. You'll pass out in the parade, and we will loot you like a Fallout 4 corpse.
You're gonna be
Oh God! When we
You're
get to
just
that, I
gonna
have
be
a
like
story.
this in your underwear on the
you're
streets
gonna
of
be like
Atlanta.
when I was in Ghost, and you're in your own little world, and you don't have to worry about the outsiders. You're safe in there.
I'm just gonna fill it with straw and put wheels on it, and no one will know the difference. But
Dale's
I
gone
swear-
full mannequin.
I don't even
The
need to be in
ultimate-
conventions anymore.
Right.
The ultimate cosplay goal: full mannequin. Just remove yourself from the hobby 100%.
I'm getting followers by not even being there.
That would be really funny actually. If you walked up, you're like, "Hey, what you guys looking at?" It's like, "Aren't you in there? What are you crazy? That looks like way too hot."
It's
Yeah,
it's a
it'd be warm
weekend
and
at Dale's.
The Dales shall rise.
Yes. But, yeah, if Fallout 4 had real people in it, I'm sure there would be a lot of talk of the murdering declother or something. Because how many bodies I've left completely stripped naked in the wasteland.
Also the person that is nice to everybody and steals everything. Where did all of our stuff go? It went
Why
to
do
the
I have a
leader.
grenade in my pocket?
All right.
Are you just happy to see me?
No, it went off prematurely.
I forgot you can pull the grenade in the pants prank.
Yes.
That's pretty excellent. Well, we'll get to Fallout later, but Nick, you joined a Kickstarter.
I did.
You
which is
usually don't do Kickstarters, correct?
That is correct. I don't really care about people's little jams, usually. I did one Kickstarter before, and that was Allie's comic book, and that's the only one I've ever cared to do until now. And if you know me, and if you have known me for a long time, you know that one of the pillars of my core being is Mystery Science Theater 3000. And it was on from like 1988 to 1998. And if you're not familiar with the show, they take these old movies that are crummy, like old monster movies or whatever, and then there's a guy and two robots, and they sit in the theater and they make fun of the movies.
So it's basically Dale divided into 3 characters.
It's like a TV show, yeah, with Dale making fun of movies. Only this is a guy and robots.
Yes.
And
well, Dale is like robots.
I mean, he likes robots. But Joel Hodgson, the creator of Mystery Science Theater, put together this Kickstarter to bring it back with a new cast. So you see Joel here in the middle, and then this is the new host. They switched hosts once before. Midway through season 5, it switched from Joel Hodgson to Mike Nelson, which people are usually of one camp or another, and I'm a Mike guy.
I'm looking at your cursor, and you had it over his lips like you were telling him to be quiet.
Hush now, Joel. Hush.
I'll
I'll talk for you. So we got Servo and Crow, and they're going to have different voices, which is going to be extremely difficult to get used to, but I'll live with it. This new host, and then Felicia Day is the mad scientist, and then they haven't announced the henchman yet, because there's always a mad scientist and a henchman. Whoa, hey.
Hey, alright. Got some advertisements there.
Wait, the 20 hottest weather women. Go back.
That's for later. So,
damn it, BuzzFeed.
I'm detecting a hot front moving in my area.
It's already hit its first goal, so there's going to be at least 3 episodes made. And it's almost at 4 to 6 episodes, and it has 12 days left to get to 5.5 million, which will be a full season of 12 episodes. And it's probably going to make it. It's been going pretty well. But I signed up at the $100 level, so I get like a coffee mug and a T-shirt and a bunch of other stuff. And then I get all the episodes for free and blah, blah, blah. So if you happen to see this and you are a lifelong MST3K fan like me, I encourage you to donate to this Kickstarter.
All right. Well, I have a follow-up question for that, because I have seen a few episodes of Mystery Science Theater, and they were funny, but I feel like there are a lot funnier ones out there. But at the same time, there are a lot of them. Do you have, like, say, a top 3 recommendations?
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
I have a top 5
for those. Okay, for 5 of us. 5 recommendations for those of us who maybe are looking to get into Mystery Science Theater but have not.
Now
jumped in yet.
There is a very light, overarching plot line in the non-movie parts where they're on the ship. It's extremely light, just because they have something to do. So I do recommend watching it somewhat in order, but not until you're already associated with it. Like, if you like it, then go back and watch and get the little plot. But I think my favorite episode of all time is from season 10. It's called Squirm. It has a short before the movie called A Case of Spring Fever, which is just this ridiculous old-timey informational short about the importance of springs, with this hellish animated spring character that talks to this man and ruins his life by taking away springs because he gets angry at springs. And it's the most fantastic thing ever made. And then the movie itself, Squirm, is a horror movie about worms that kill people in the South, and the main character is some weenie, bespectacled fool
Okay.
who's not a hero in any sense of the word and doesn't have a hero's journey, for he simply bumbles through the movie. But it's really funny. The movie is funny enough where, I don't know, it works perfectly with their commentary. Sometimes you get a movie that's a little too boring and it's hard to get into it. Like, I'd say my least favorite episode is The Unearthly. But Squirm is my favorite Mike episode. My favorite Joel episode is Manos, the Hands of Fate, or Pod People, although Pod People is actually somewhat scary.
I've heard of Manos. And
Manos
I've
is
also heard it's...
Yes.
Yes.
Not on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, yeah, I've heard it's a bad movie, but one that's good to make fun of.
One of my other recommendations would be Hobgoblins. And another one would be The Screaming Skull. Very funny. But yeah, I can hook you up with some of them.
Okay, excellent. So that is available for kickstarting, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's sort of like before, when I was in high school, before I did any sort of cosplay or con-related things, I feel like it's the closest I've come to that, because I built the robots, because you can build them, because they're just made out of junk, basically, that you can find. So I built Tom and Crow and Gypsy. And that was sort of like a thing that I would try and do now, and build like props and costumes and stuff.
They looked pretty good from what I saw, so...
Mm-hmm.
So you guys been playing video games?
Non-stop, pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of games came out this past month, so I've, up until recently, been playing Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain, but then Dale graciously bought me Fallout 4 for my birthday, which isn't till the 21st of next month, so...
Yeah, but you always complain about you getting Christmas and birthday presents at the same time.
Non-stop, he complains about it.
I know, he just won't shut up. Even during July.
It's sickening, really.
Because it's usually like, hey, we've given you a better gift than you would have gotten two separate gifts otherwise. But anyway, so Nick, you've been playing Tomb Raider. Dale, you've been playing... Have you just been playing Fallout now?
Well, I beat StarCraft 2.
Oh, that's right.
Star Wars Battlefront here and there. Yeah, mostly Fallout 4. And then I overall beat most of Metal Gear Solid, but I'll definitely come back to that once I finally beat Fallout.
Yeah, I think they do need to patch some of the things, particularly the forward operating bases. The fact that people can basically steal your resources is really obnoxious, because everything's so expensive. And it takes so much time to gather resources that you have to farm them. And I don't think that's a very proactive way to approach a game, especially if you're trying to...
when you're offline.
Yeah, if you're trying to establish a community, it's the wrong way to go about it. So the whole rivalries thing is just obnoxious. I wish they had an opt-in or opt-out for that. So,
well, I mean, you can play offline.
You can, but then it depletes a lot of your resources, or it bottoms them out, or whatever. So,
because you don't get from FOBs where they're storing most of them.
That's true. So, Nick, why don't you tell us about Rise of the Tomb Raider? Because us PC gamers don't get to play it until allegedly April 1st.
Yeah, it's a timed exclusive, so I get to play that first. But
Right.
If you like the first one, it's like the first one, only there's more to it. Like it has similar graphics and it plays the same. Only there's more skills. There's more weapons. There's more weapon modifications. There's more. There's more like upgradable things altogether, not just weapons and skills and stuff. There's
All right, my one question for you is, because I liked the bow just about as much as you did in the reboot. I don't want to say the first one, but the last game that they had. Does it function and play the same?
Oh yeah, I've been using the bow, like just like the last one. It feels like It's just it feels like you stop playing the first one and here's the second one. It's
Okay.
like it's very smooth transition. Uh,
Well, that has me excited for it, and I'm kind of glad it got pushed back to April for PC, because then it's not another game that's contending.
that's how I was glad that it came out when it did, because I was concerned about Fallout 4 being buggy because it's Bethesda. So this is giving me a small window of time for them to get a patch or two out before I start playing Fallout. Plus, it's a shorter game than Fallout, so it would be harder for me to stop playing Fallout and then play this and then go back into Fallout, I feel.
I know Dale has told me that he's basically gone from the upper left corner of the map, and he's basically going about it like in a cob of corn, just like munching through the whole area, because he apparently heard that the easier stuff is in the north and the harder stuff is in the south. So he's just been systematically rolling through and getting everything.
That's how I played Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
Almost exactly like that, where I just kept driving back and forth. The only problem with Mad Max is there's so much side quests, and I felt the need to complete them that I sort of got sick of it eventually.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was me in Skyrim. You can't complete all the side quests; they just keep repopulating.
Yeah, and it overwhelmed me. So eventually I'll beat it, but now I'm playing Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get Dale back in so we can talk about Battlefront.
I've been playing that a lot too, only not as much as you guys because I'm only level 9.
Yeah, I think I'm like level 21 or 22 now. Dale's probably like, I don't know, like level 28 or 30. I don't know how high it goes up, but he's been playing it a lot more than I have.
I want to get there because I want to unlock the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like level 40 to 50. And the one I want is the Quarren squid head guy. And he's like level 50, I think.
Yeah, I've seen, we were playing in a match the other day, and I saw a TIE Fighter pilot skin and a Twi'lek skin. So those people are already up there.
You know that they're intense, and you should stay away from them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got an achievement for it was the greatest kill I've ever gotten in a video game. And it just happened to coincide with an achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the greatest thing ever, and I always forget that I can DVR these things and record them just by saying Xbox record that. And I wish I would have done it because there's this rebel dude running, and he was across the map. And I had been charging my sniper rifle, the pulse rifle, for someone else, and they ducked away, and I was like, shoot, now I gotta shoot this thing. So I saw this guy running, so I led him a little, and then he jumped, like jump jet.
Yep.
And he went up, and I was like, oh shoot, but I let go, and it hit him, and he just spiraled out of the air and died. And I got an achievement for killing a guy using a jump jet, but it was across the map. It was great.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was the best time shot I've ever had in a game.
Just so you know, what you can do is, you know how, I don't know what button it is on a controller, but whatever button you use to select that card for the pulse rifle, if you're charging it up and there's like whoever, say your target was, dies, you can hit that button again and it'll unequip it, and then you won't use it.
Even if you're already pulling the trigger and it's, I didn't know that.
Even if you're holding it down and charging it up, you can do that. I do that all the time. So
I'm gonna get so many more kills because of this.
Yeah. So, and then, I mean, you can just unequip it that way.
I've killed 3 ATSTs myself with that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Anyway, I wish Dale were in.
Yeah. I got all these things he could be saying about stuff. And, you know.
Well, so you finally got to play some of the heroes, right?
Yeah, Boba Fett's the best.
He is also my favorite. I think Dale likes Palpatine. He likes to make jokes because he's old.
Palpatine's hilarious. Like if he comes on the field, I'm gonna get killed because I'm laughing.
He's got those T-Rex arms.
Boba Fett's the best because he can fly and he's got the flamethrower and his gun is good.
I like the wrist rocket.
That rocket, yeah, it's all good.
There was a match I went like 35 or 41, something like that, and like 10. And I got an ATST in Wrecked Shop, and then I immediately got Boba Fett afterwards. I headed into a tunnel, and there were just rebels everywhere, so I was just like...
That is so good.
There he is.
Fucking hell.
Your computer hated you?
I don't know, my my camera turned off, and I could still hear and see you guys, but you couldn't respond to me, or you couldn't hear me. And then I left and tried to rejoin, and just fucking wouldn't connect. Like, I sat there for...
Nick, you're next, because I had problems before the podcast. Dale had some at the beginning. At the end, you're just going to go...
Oh, I think...
He's just going to start on fire.
Right. So
the tauntaun's just going to explode.
We're talking Battlefront right now, Dale. Who is your favorite hero?
Okay.
That you can play as?
Oh, that I can play as? It would be Emperor Palpatine.
I called it. Why is that, Dale?
Because I am the geriatric T-Rex.
Yeah. One time, I was a rebel, and I was down Endor, and I was outside of one of those tunnels, and I was just like, I walk out, he spawned right in front of me, and I was like, ah! And he goes, and I just exploded. But he just went, boom!
Got the magic touch. I love just making, like, prepare for the fully operational AARP card. So fun making.
Oh no! Did it happen? Did Nick die now?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. The icon for you were just frozen like this.
Because I was doing this for a long time.
I know, that's true. So I don't know. But it's Battlefront. We've been having a lot of fun with it, at least on our end. There have been some like really frustrating instances, but as a whole, it's been for
me. As a whole, it is the second least buggiest game within the last 3 months that's been released.
Really?
That I've watched.
I haven't had any.
Yeah, you keep losing sound on yours. I haven't had any issues like that.
Yeah. So I will get background noise, is the best way to describe it, but I'll lose music, I'll lose, like, special effects noise. Like, I can't hear, Emperor Palpatine's here, or pew 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 pew! I won't hear that, but I will hear, like, the background music where the Star Destroyers are flying by, kind of thing.
Sounds like somebody has to upgrade their computer.
Sounds like somebody has to go find EA and hurt them. I don't have any problem with sound coming from anyone else in the other game. But,
did you try looking it up to see if anybody else had that problem?
Not yet. I figured I'd give it like a month so everyone else can experience problems and see if posting it. Because, I mean, you do it on like day 1 or week 1. Who's going to say anything?
Right.
You're not gonna find answers is the problem.
Got that new map coming out on Tuesday.
Is that already on Tuesday?
Yeah.
The Battle of Jakku?
Yeah, if you pre-ordered it, comes
supposedly.
out Tuesday.
Yeah. So
if you didn't pre-order, I think it's the 12th.
Okay. So that's available to everybody, but the expansion itself is only for the people who got the Ultimate Edition or whatever, the Collector's Edition.
What are you talking about?
Because they got Season Pass, I think, with it.
Yeah, I don't know if that one because I thought that was DLC.
The Jakku DLC map is free.
Oh, okay.
And it comes out. If you pre-ordered the game, you get early access to it. So if you pre-ordered it, which I did, you get it on Tuesday. And if you just bought it afterwards, you get it on the 12th.
Okay.
But they're gonna do a bunch of free maps along with the bundles that are like just regular DLC expansions.
Cool. So at least you won't feel gypped out if you don't buy into the DLC packs.
Yeah.
The only thing I really wish is you could be able to switch teams in the game, or they'd have like a large space battle, not just the skirmish they have in the ground for air to air.
I think that
we're taking on a Star Destroyer.
I feel like that's inevitable at some point. Like it'll come out.
I hope so. If it doesn't, I think that'll be like a bad thing. Also, I wish you could come ships.
Definitely would be a missed opportunity.
If they had a like a space battle thing that was similar to the way they did. For Battlefield, they had the rush maps where it was like, all right, do this objective, then do this objective, then do this objective, and it stacks. Or say with the, I'm trying to think of, when you take down the objectives, I guess Walker Assault is a close comparison, where it like once it gets to this point, it pushes the points back. If you don't destroy the AT-AT.
Yes.
Yeah. So if they do that like a step by step for the space battles, like you have to take out the shields and then fly in and take out the core. That would be really cool to like reenact the Death Star like in the third movie.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome if they would do it like that, where you have to get the shield.
Oh man, that would be really cool if like when you get one of the ship icons, it puts you into space.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not actually interacting with the ground.
What?
And then
People it has people on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would be really sweet. I hope they have.
Or you choose,
because that's really cool.
Or you choose which side you want to spawn on. If you want to do the air in the space or in the ground every time you die. So because
you're just gonna have everybody in space fighting.
Well, yeah, but if both have objectives that need to be taken or done, kind of thing. Or if one getting both sides get pushed forward, kind of thing, so you have to balance. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, been having a lot of fun. I really would like to see what happens when you get like a group of 4 or more people together who can
in a party
take objectives. Yes, opposed to where everyone just sits there going pew pew.
So we should probably stop talking about games for a bit. Talk about the elephant in the room, which is Star Wars. The next movie is coming out in a couple weeks.
It is
December 18th. I'm excited. Yep. Do you think that the film is going to have, other than like the Battle of Jakku DLC, do you think the film's going to have any impact, and maybe the future films are going to have any impact on Star Wars Battlefront itself?
I would imagine.
I would assume so. I mean, otherwise you're going to have a lot of people angry.
I mean, for one, I would like to see the new design of the stormtroopers put into the game, and maybe some of the outfits from, the Rebels.
Plus, they need more Imperial heroes. And
they do.
Then you'd have like Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma. That would be good.
So, I mean, that's just skins. I'm sure they don't want to spoil the stories, so they have to keep it pretty basic.
Oh yeah, it's on on full lockdown.
Right. So,
what was it? I think it's a few of them. Whatever, as long as whatever I heard it on the radio. As long as no spoilers get leaked, like a lot of the main actors will get a bonus.
Yeah, so, Mark Hamill said he gets a certain amount of money if he doesn't say anything.
Well, that's incentive.
And he got that. Yeah, and he got that too for not saying Luke or Darth was Luke's father. So.
Yep. He's like, they know I can keep a secret. Because he knew about that for like a year and a half. He said.
Sweet. So okay, I'm not personally like a huge lore junkie for Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but I don't know. Dale, are you like too heavily into Star Wars that you know a whole lot of stuff about like, characters? All right, because
I'm not good with the character name. If you showed me pictures, I could say what they can do and who they are-ish kind of thing.
All right, Nick, how much do you know about the lore for this upcoming movie?
Well, there's not actually that much to know, because the stuff that was around before, like the novels and the extended universe, is all swept away as canon, which is good.
Oh, that's right.
It's so good because the EU had a couple good characters in it. It was basically just a bunch of disjointed fan fiction that didn't connect with itself in the first place. And then you had these terrible stories that you were supposed to have be canon in your head, and like people, you know how
Jess would bring up the moon, wouldn't she?
Yeah, that whatever that was. There's this storyline with these bug things called the Yuzan Fong, and that was like the stupidest thing ever. But I'm not a huge fan of the extended universe apart from Shadows of the Empire, which is really good. But so it's sort of reset to where the lore now is basically whatever's been filmed or animated. So like the
So
movies,
Clone Wars
Clone
is canon.
Wars,
Okay.
yeah, it's considered canon. So is Rebels, the newer
Oh.
cartoon, which Clone Wars is actually really good, and it's a really good substitute for the prequels in your head because they actually understood to develop Anakin Skywalker as a cocky fighter
I
pilot.
was gonna say Anakin is actually less annoying.
He's a cocky pilot, which is what Anakin was supposed to be. Uh, that's how they kept referring to him in 4, 5, and 6. And then he just wasn't that. I don't even know what it was. The prequels are terrible, but the Clone Wars is good. You have to give it a little bit though, because it's kind of cartoony at the beginning, but then it starts taking itself
you get used to the
seriously.
style.
Yeah, but it starts taking itself more seriously too as
that's
it
what you mean.
goes. And
I liked most of the episodes that I've seen from it.
So yeah, it's
I
good.
didn't really have any problem.
Like there was one episode where Ahsoka, Anakin's apprentice, beheads 3 Mandalorians with a lightsaber. It was just like, oh, jeez.
We're gonna put this on Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
watch it, kids.
There you go, and there go their heads.
Yep.
Oh God.
I actually like when kids material takes itself seriously in whatever lore it's established. I know on like a previous podcast we talked about, I think it was The Secret of Nim, which is like really dark and twisted, but it's supposed to be for kids, and I really liked that growing up because it's like I hated the sugary candy coated stuff that they would put out, like, oh, it's whatever, it's just for kids, so story doesn't matter because kids don't care. It's like,
I feel like
still, as a kid, you can still appreciate a good story, even if it's...
kids can handle more than people think they can.
So I think Don Bluth and his studio got that. But anyway, going back to Star Wars, it's cool that the Clone Wars took itself seriously, because then, you can do something like, we're going to actually accept this into the lore as canon. So, do you know anything about the characters that they've shown in the trailers? Like, I don't know. I've got the list. I actually have to look up the names. I know Kylo Ren.
I only have theories based on watching the trailer because I haven't been like researching it because I kind of want to go into it without seeing every single piece of news.
Dale, to start, did you watch any of the trailers? Yeah. Okay.
I did today.
All right, because I know you typically hate trailers, so because
of course, because it gives too much of the story away.
Yeah,
it does.
It also hypes, we'll get to that later.
The trailers usually do that. I feel like I haven't watched any of the TV spots, but the original trailers don't give away that much story.
I would agree.
Because I still don't know what the plot is, but I think Kylo Ren is basically trying to rebuild the Empire because he's like a Sith fanboy. I don't think he's an actual Sith. I think he's like fanboy. Darth Vader wants to be Darth Vader. I think he might be one of Han and Leia's kids because there was an extended universe thing where they had 2 kids. And one was dark side and one went light side. So I think that might be Rey and Kylo Ren. But I don't know how much they're drawing from that, so I don't really know. But that would be interesting.
All right, and Rey is the girl in the trailers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not that much to know. They haven't released that much, or if they have, I've been avoiding it well enough where all I've seen is images.
Now, I know you've talked a lot to me about Captain Phasma and how you're excited. I think she looks really cool, and it's also Gwendolyn Christie, who I like her in Game of Thrones. So
I just hope that she's like. I just have hopes for this character. Like I think because it looks like Finn, who's John Boyega, the Stormtrooper. It looks like he goes AWOL, and I think maybe she's pursuing him.
Sent to hunt him down. Okay.
Yeah, and I just said like, oh man, I hope she's like super like obsessed with like finding him as crazy stormtrooper captain. I don't know, just to be cool.
She's sent to take him to his uncle or his
Yeah,
or his
yeah.
aunt.
Exactly. I think she's hunting him, and I think that'll be pretty cool. I really like that armor. I like the new stormtrooper designs.
Yeah, I like all the designs they've shown so far. So.
Yeah, I like most of all. What I like is no.
Speaking of, did I send you guys that page with all the props that they have?
Yes.
No.
Okay, Dale, I'll have to send you that if you're interested.
Okay.
It's like a list of all the prop guns that they have or blasters, I should say, and like
and the
helmets
beach ball
and
I
stuff.
made the R2 unit out of.
BB-8. Everybody's obsessed with that, and I just it's the ball with a little R2 head on it. That's all it looks like.
I was never understood why people were obsessed with R2, so it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So.
Because R2 is the only guy they censored because he swore all the time.
Oh, those droids are filthy. That's why they didn't want them in the bar.
Exactly. Take your kind here.
Right. So, have you guys seen anything you might want to like maybe make a costume of?
I want to watch it first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen the video yet.
Just from the looks alone, I like Kylo Ren's outfit looks pretty cool.
He's cool looking. I like, actually, regardless, the movie could be Phantom Menace bad, and the new Stormtroopers, like the Snow Trooper and the Flame Trooper specifically.
That's true. That's right.
I would cosplay either one of those.
The Snow Trooper.
Really like those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull up a picture.
Yeah, I've like with the originals, I always liked the Scout Trooper. I thought the helmet design looked really cool. So
says the guy who doesn't wear a helmet in Battlefront.
Kevin,
I will
Kevin,
when I unlock the Scout Trooper.
Kevin, are you not wearing a helmet with your Stormtrooper?
He's not.
I can't even talk to you anymore. I'm leaving.
You don't know how many times I'm like, you are an idiot. How many times do you wear a damn helmet?
Put your helmet on your Stormtrooper. I hate everyone who doesn't do that.
But he also does it for medieval. When we play
Stormtroopers have helmets on, Kevin. Put your helmet on. You're embarrassing the family.
I'm non-canon, all right?
Here's some codpiece action for you. And here's this lady. She knows what's up. This is the Snow Trooper from Force Awakens, and then I'm gonna look up the Flame Trooper.
I swear to God, if it's just a guy covered in glitter, I'm leaving.
It might be. Now here's the Flame Trooper, which I think is, I don't know, the Stormtrooper, the Snow Trooper, the Flame Trooper. They're both super awesome.
Mm-hmm. I actually liked the singular visor that they have. I think it looks really cool. So no. I mean, like that's the the one band is what I mean. Like
so
as
you
opposed
can't
to
see anything. Yeah.
As opposed to the two eye holes.
Stormtroopers traditionally never could see anything.
Yeah, that's why I took my helmet off so I could actually shoot right.
No, you put that helmet on, or I'm not talking to you again.
Once I unlock the Scout Trooper, I'll put the helmet back on.
You put the helmet on. Stormtroopers without helmets is stupid.
Wait, doesn't the guy take off his helmet and he's a Stormtrooper in the trailer?
Yeah, but he's AWOL.
Yeah, he goes AWOL.
I don't care what his name is.
Kevin, in every Star Wars movie, have you ever seen a Stormtrooper running around on the field without a helmet? No, you haven't.
When Han Solo and Chewbacca were Stormtroopers.
Are you Han Solo? You're not. You're Kevin Bly.
Wait, didn't Leia have a Stormtrooper outfit at some point, too?
No, that was a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was in Spaceballs. Alright.
Oh, boy. Merchandising. So let's get on because people just keep talking about this movie and everybody's really excited about it. I'm excited about it. It sounds like you guys are excited about it. Do you think that can become a big problem for the movie? Because I feel like it raises expectations a lot to the point where I'm assuming there are going to be a lot of people disappointed with it because of the amount that people are talking about it and obsessing over it, it's going to maybe create unrealistic expectations.
I'd say normally that's a thing with everything else, but I feel like people are just so liberated by not having George Lucas involved at all that they're like we're free, and someone who cares about this is making it and isn't gonna put Gungans and whatever else was in the prequels.
As an aside, I was at Target with Jen earlier, and we were like standing in line to check out, and the person ahead of us had a bunch of stuff. I happened to look over, and there was like a bin of Star Wars toys, and there was just like a giant collection of Jar Jar Binks action figures, but they were ones that you smash them, like you smash your hand down on them, and all of the limbs fly off. Like, was this created specifically to destroy Jar Jar Binks?
I feel like Star Wars Episode 7 was created specifically to destroy Jar Jar Binks.
Mm-hmm.
No, I believe in it because of two things. Simon Pegg is the harshest Star Wars critic that exists, and he had script input and is in it.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yep, he's just an alien. Like, he just wanted to be in it. Like, he's an alien, so you won't recognize him. But and he hates the prequels, and he goes on rants about them all the time, and how George Lucas murdered his children and stuff like that. And Simon Pegg signed off on it, and he's in it. And Steven Spielberg has watched it 3 times already. And Steven Spielberg was not impressed with his friend George's prequels.
Speaking of Spielberg, he was involved in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and that was pretty renowned as a very hyped up movie because Indiana Jones is coming back, and it did not live up to the majority of people's expectations.
Another thing because of George Lucas.
I understand.
Lucas wrote that movie. Spielberg said he didn't really feel like it fit, even though he was with it and he did it. It's like, the blood's on your hand too, buddy.
Okay. So, can you guys think of other things that are like they never lived up to the hype that was established? Be it like games or films or whatnot. Because I've got a couple on here, and like the Hobbit trilogy is another one.
I think Dale has a couple.
Well, I think the obvious one out of the 3 of us is Evolve.
Yeah, if we're talking games, like I was excited for Evolve, and it came
all
out.
Of us were.
Yeah, and we were looking forward to like teaming up together, getting like a group of 5. I know we talked about it before the game came out. You can actually probably trace it back to a couple episodes where we were excited about it. We had our like team that we were going to play with picked out because you get like 4 people and 1 monster. So
Yep.
And it came out, and we played it together. What, like twice, and then
a couple times.
Yeah, Dale, you and I played it a bit more, but it's just like it kind of felt samey. There were a couple different modes, but it just started repeating. So it's the fact that we kept hearing people hype up, a whole lot about it and how they enjoyed it. I know Rooster Teeth, like Bernie, really liked it.
I feel like some part of the reason we couldn't play as much is just because I have such terrible work hours. And maybe I could have played more if I didn't have to work so late every day. But even then, I feel like there's too much stuff on the sides of Evolve. Like there's too much creatures and little annoyances when I just want to be hunting the monster.
Fair enough. Now, to piggyback onto that, but in a different direction, Titanfall was another one that got a whole lot of hype. And I was really excited because it's like, yeah, I get to like jump in a mech and start beating other mechs to death with that mech. That's really cool. But
to be honest, that's the fastest I ever got sick of something.
It was a great game when you first start, and then it just had so much wasted potential, I felt, with its universe. Yeah, because there's stuff in the background that you're like, I want to know what those giant monsters are, and I want to fight them. I want to like release the swarm and have to, like, on the losing side, have to fight those.
That's right. I forgot about those.
There's even a mode where it's like we gotta release the zoo bring down the shield so the monsters can come in.
Right. Or protected so they don't.
Yeah, you don't even see that. You just like, oh no, everything's going down. Evacuate.
Everyone get out.
Yeah, and then they had like these. You keep hearing from these dropships that are dropping in Titans. It's like, when are we gonna go up there and actually see what that's like? In the campaign mode, there's one part where you walk into a pod after getting a mini briefing, and you're like, great, I got to see the war room, kind of.
I feel like Titanfall is like, you're like, what's over there? And some guy's like, no, just go stay in this room. Like, but that room is really cool.
Yeah. It's the Willy Wonka of games. It's like, can I go over here? No, that's off the tour. You go over there.
Yeah. It is the chocolate factory of games. That is the most accurate analogy of all time.
So it was. I would probably still be playing it if they had innovated more than just team deathmatch, more or less.
Yeah, because everyone stopped playing all the other ones. Basically.
Yeah. So it was. Last Titan Standing was fun.
Well, but that's basically team deathmatch, though.
It is, but there was, because with that game, it's like, all right, whatever, beam my Titan down, get in it.
Right.
I just run straight ahead, start bashing people. Oh, I got ejected out of it, whatever. With Last Titan Standing, it was like, you get one. Once all the Titans are dead on your team, that's it.
Well, and that one also made the most sense. Everyone's launching with a Titan instead of like, all right, I gotta wait 2 minutes for my Titan to be ready. What, you couldn't warm up the Titan before we got to battle? What is it? You need to defrost it? What the hell's going on?
You know what? I think some of these games that we're talking about now would have benefited greatly from the Frostbite engine, because one of the things that I really like about Battlefront that I have not got that like makes me want to play it all day when I'm at work is the motion seems much more realistic because it's a little slower. And like in Titanfall, people just ran too fast. In Call of Duty, people ran too fast. Like you just all of a sudden someone would rocket by and then you'd be dead. And it's just like, okay.
Frostbite is exclusive to EA games, so it would work with Titanfall, but it would not work with Call of Duty.
Even if
it's specific for their Battlefield franchise that was developed, and then it went on to Dragon Age Inquisition, which I was so thankful for because it benefited greatly from those graphics.
They could learn from it at least and slow down the motion to more realistic levels, so it's not just like some hyperspeed running nonsense where I can't shoot them. Like Battlefront feels like Star Wars. Like the lasers are a little slower, like Star Wars lasers.
Like I got in, and that music, first of all, that backs up everything you're doing, was perfect. And then you're just like, I'm in Star Wars. I'm just having a good time. There are some battles that Dale and I will get into where we just get completely wrecked. And like, this isn't fun because the other team is just steamrolling us.
And you can't change teams.
Yeah, so
I feel like that on Endor when I'm the Empire. Like,
see? I'm not the only one.
It's like I'm a glowing white specter in this forest.
Exactly.
You gotta take your helmet off so your head blends in.
No, you stop taking your helmet off. I actually hate you a little right now. I spent probably 4 hours complaining about people who take off their helmets while in game.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I feel, if anything, when you take your helmet off, you're more likely to get shot because you look like you're a player, opposed to someone might think you're an AI instead.
Oh, you want me to be a mindless drone? Okay.
Yes, that's what a Stormtrooper is.
Yeah, you're in the Empire. What do you expect?
Well, my best game I had, I ran around without a helmet until I got in a machine of death, and then got to play as a guy with a helmet. The only hero other than Darth Vader with a helmet.
Boba Fett?
Yep.
Boba Fett.
That's my favorite one, is Boba Fett.
Me too.
It's okay.
I had Luke once and I couldn't figure it out. Like, I should have practiced or something.
What do you mean you couldn't figure it out? He's the simplest one.
There you go. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
I was hitting wrong things. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, we were playing heroes and villains in one match, and the Emperor just appeared in front of me, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna try to shoot lightning at me? Well, and he died.
Good.
So, I don't know. There are some people who don't know how to play. And then there are other people who are too good at playing. I've gotten rolled by Boba Fett so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I killed Luke once as a lowly stormtrooper, because he was toying with me. And like you said, I think he was trying to get a challenge for deflecting blaster bolts.
Yep.
But I wouldn't shoot him, and he wouldn't let me pass. Like, I kept trying to go around him, and then he'd swing his lightsaber, and I'd just go back, and I was like, why won't he kill me? But he was just, like, standing there. And so I threw my thermal detonator, and then I pulled up my sniper thing, and I shot him with that, and he died.
You can melee him. You do good damage with melee.
That never even occurred to me.
Yeah, there was one time where we were playing heroes versus villains, and what was it, Darth Vader? We trapped Darth Vader in a corner. We all hit him to death with the butts of our rifles.
He got trapped in the corner and got taken out by Princess Leia with a murder strike of a rifle.
Dark Lord of the Sith got destroyed by the end of the rifles.
You want to know, as far as hype, do you want to know something that has hyped itself out and completely burned itself out months before it's even coming out?
Sure.
The Division.
What?
The Division. I now feel like The Division is an old game I never played.
I honestly have no idea about that game, but I've heard so much and then nothing all of a sudden, all at once, kind of a thing.
I think I brought it up during our E3 discussion, not this year, but last year.
You did.
I think it was on my list, and then it was just, I stopped paying attention to it, so it's still fresh for me, but I know a lot of people are talking about it.
I feel like, A, Ubisoft sucks, and B...
the Far Cry series is actually pretty good.
I tried to play Far Cry 3, and it was so buggy that it deleted 4 hours of my progress, so I threw it away.
Oh, I don't blame you for that. That would be really frustrating.
But I hate Ubisoft to begin with, but I was super excited for The Division for like a year. And then it was like, well, this game's either never coming out or it's going to be terrible like all Ubisoft games when it comes out.
They'll replace it with an Assassin's Creed game.
Exception, Splinter Cell Blacklist. It was great. It was a return to form. But The Division...
Still need to play that one.
Division burned itself out so hard after its hype. It's been like 2 years.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. You can't... See, and that's the whole reason why I don't watch trailers for games or movies, is because if it's too far away, I will stop caring about it at some point, because something else will obviously be better out there.
It's a good system.
I don't blame you for it. It's just like sometimes I want to talk about it, which I know feeds into the whole stigma of hype, but...
I think Dale has it right, though, where you just wait until, like, you have like a couple weeks left.
Suddenly it's out. But, I mean, with this whole storm of games this year, it's like I don't have time to worry about hype, because it's like suddenly the games are out and I can't play them.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Watch Dogs is one I heard that got a whole lot of hype. I kept hearing about it. You actually played it. I didn't play it. Dale, did you play it at all?
No, I didn't play it because Nick played it and hated it so much.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't play it. Remember that little Ubisoft rant from just a couple minutes ago?
Rewind one. Let's watch it again.
That has its birth in a little game called Watch Dogs.
As we like to call Watch Pups.
So, do you think it was hyped to the point where people had unrealistic expectations for what it could be?
I feel like those snake oil salesmen saw me coming a mile away. Started making wild claims and spinning their little hats.
Would you say the same thing about the prequels for Star Wars then?
Yeah,
it got overhyped and then it just really didn't deliver?
It didn't deliver because it was bad.
Here's my thing for
the battle scenes, though.
My thing for prequels was, as a kid, I mean, I think I was like a kid.
It was like 2099.
Yeah, it was like 11 or 12, something like that. I just was excited to be in that feeling of a Star Wars universe again, so I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did.
What about Jar Jar Binks?
I didn't like Jar Jar. He was annoying. But like there were redeeming factors to it. I actually did like Ewan McGregor a lot. He was trying really hard throughout the whole trilogy.
He's the saving grace, if there is one, of all those movies. Him and Darth Maul was cool.
Yeah. So I mean, there are cool things that people remember. I actually did like the pod race stuff.
That's the thing where like
fighting.
now I just don't care.
Yeah, look, I could go back now and watch it, and it's like all this CG stuff that was so cool back then is very terribly dated.
That's the way it's always going to be.
Yeah, I know, and that's why practical effects hold up a lot longer. So I'm happy to hear that they're doing a lot of practical effects in the new series.
Like the beach ball.
Yeah,
yes. Real. Just stuff like that. It lasts a lot longer, feels a little bit more visceral, even though to get it looking as good, it takes a lot more time and money and effort to sell that effect.
But at the same time, Star Wars obviously had like probably an unlimited budget kind of a thing to get it all right.
That's true.
So I mean, there's always the big budgets versus the low budget films.
Right, but I feel like the mentality for the episodes 1, 2, and 3 was we'll just CG it, and that kind of carried over to like, well, to match that, we're gonna start altering the original trilogy. Let's stop. Just stop getting it. Like I'm a CG artist. I understand this stuff, but it got too far because I had the knowledge that this is gonna look bad when we outdate it.
This is all George Lucas, though. It's not hype. It's not something not living up to expectations. It's a man who lost touch with the thing he created.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you're gonna go that, wouldn't that have started even before the sequels? Because the whole controversy with Han shot first, kind of a thing.
It did. It started with the special edition things.
Mm-hmm.
We should have seen it coming. We should have known.
Well, I'm just really worried if they're gonna go back and CG things for the first three. The original three, I should say, if they put like glaze on, Leia's buns or whatever like that.
I'm not sure if that's a euphemism or not.
Take it as you wanted. Oh, that's all I can think of.
Good lord.
We're losing viewers.
We never had
some?
Yeah.
Viewers.
So... hype is. Do you think it has its place?
I think people should be allowed to get excited for things, but I feel like the main detractor for hype is social media, where I have to read people's stream of conscious all day long, and people that get too excited with stuff and then burn it out for you, which is why I've almost completely abandoned all social media at this point.
Okay.
Or at this point, I mean, where they have their own headcanon going on.
Yeah, I hate. I hate it. I hate that. But yeah,
I get to see a lot of that, and just like, is that part of the movie?
That's very, very much prevalent in BioWare fandoms to create your own headcanon.
Yeah. They do it in Marvel too, which is, I guess I'm to Marvel what you guys are to BioWare, but it annoys me in the same way. Where like they ship these things and then it's not real, and then they get mad, or what the thing that they're a fan of isn't real. So they're not a fan of the actual thing, they're a fan of something they made up based on the thing.
Or based on one line that they saw or something. Like, one looked at each other. Also, because you said we were going to talk about the trailers, I fucking watched the fucking Civil War trailer, and at the end I screamed at the screen because it's not until fucking May of next year. So, fuck that shit.
Hey man, I wouldn't have told you to watch any trailers. Someone betrayed you.
Would you? I told him that we're probably going to talk about it because Steph was originally supposed to be on, but she's in Iowa right now.
I think she's back now. She signed on to Steam.
Oh, but anyway, I mean, it's too late in the episode to bring in a guest.
Yeah, it is.
But that was the reason I advised him that maybe he should watch the Civil War trailer. They'll just be thankful it's not like May of 2017.
If it was May of 2017, I'd go and steal the tape right now. Ain't got time for this.
Anyway, do you think there are do you think that Star Wars will be hype is going to ruin it at all?
No.
Not for the Star Wars movies, because even if it turns out to be a bad movie, there's still enough of a cult following that people will still love it, kind of a thing. I feel like Star Wars is its own special world.
Exception.
Right. Yep. Because, I mean, like Nick said, there's literally people who are the biggest critics of it working on it kind of a thing.
Yep.
Where I don't see that happening with any of the Marvel movies just yet. Kind of a thing.
Yeah, Star Wars is cultural legend at this point. Like, it's part of the fabric of the American zeitgeist. It's above reproach.
Stop using big words.
Yeah. I went to college.
I read a book once. It's called The Dictionary.
Let's not get carried away, guys. My degree is a liberal arts degree. It's meaningless.
You're using those arts pretty liberal by my standards.
Thesaurus.com.
No. At the same time, do you think there are, say, other things that are underhyped and could use with a little bit more, like, discussion and whatnot?
Well, for me, obviously, it was StarCraft 2's coming out. Because
I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, I guess it did kind of get overshadowed by all the other games that were coming, mainly Fallout. There were a lot of people talking about Fallout. I heard a lot more people in my circle of social media talking about Fallout and how it's going to have this feature and that feature, and it's going to be even better than Fallout 3. It's going to be like Skyrim.
Yeah,
it's like,
no, it wasn't.
Just stop. I'm enjoying the game, and I just started ignoring all that stuff. But I haven't gotten a chance to play StarCraft, and you said it was like a perfect ending.
I loved
StarCraft.
Yeah, and you know how picky I am with endings, and I don't think it could have been a better.
The biggest compliment Dale had given anything before that was The Last of Us, and he said it ended at the perfect moment. And the fact that he used the word perfect in conjunction with an ending and not failure. Perfect failure.
It is what will ruin something for me is the ending, because I don't tend to go back and watch a movie a second time or play a game a second time unless it's a different ending.
I'm the same way. There are a lot of people like with Dragon Age. This is my 30th playthrough, and I'm like, I can't do that. It took me like 150 hours to play through Inquisition because I branched off and did all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't afford that much time. So I've played it once.
And to me, I know the ending. I know what's going to happen. Yeah. So there's no discovery for me. I'm like, oh, this stuff again. All right.
The discovery is the branching paths for that, but there are a lot of games out there that don't have that. So, if you're gonna have a narrative, just have it be self-contained and precise. I liked the two previous Star Wars or StarCraft 2 games. I thought they're really well written, so it was on my radar. I was gonna get it, and then you gave me Fallout, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to the Wasteland, and then I'll get back to StarCraft.
Well, I wanted to give you StarCraft for your birthday, but I figured Fallout was the better choice out of it because you were probably hearing a lot more of Fallout.
You could also possibly get a Steam, because you gave it to me on Black Friday, so I'm assuming there was a Steam sale involved.
I know a hype thing that failed.
No? Oh,
no,
okay.
It was just a regular game. Did I give it to you on Black Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even know. I wasn't paying attention. No, there wasn't a deal or anything like that. I was like, all right, it's been enough time, and if you keep going, you're going to buy it for yourself probably.
I was getting to that point, in all honesty, because people were talking about all the cool features. I'm like, I want to play it. Because I like Fallout 3. So, like, upcoming games that... we already talked about The Division, but upcoming games that have, I feel, too much hype. No Man's Sky. People are praising it to no end.
What's that?
That was it was a game that was announced at, I think it was first announced at E3 last year. I'm not sure, it might have been before that, but people were just saying like it's this game where it has no loading screens and you can go into space and go to any planet and the universe is huge and there's all this stuff you can do, and I'm like, guys, temper your expectations, please, because Spore did that same thing, and Spore was fun
for 12 minutes
up until the creature stage, and after that it was like, I want to go back and be a creature again.
None of that sounds plausible from what you just said, though. Like no loading screens, but you have this huge area.
The game has promised no loading screens, so I don't know. For an endless universe.
Yeah.
So they might blend it, because
it seems like a tech demo.
It does, but Dale, with Metal Gear Solid, when you get into whatever
Mm-hmm.
of your areas that you're choosing,
Yeah.
it's a relatively well hidden loading area. It loads procedurally as you go, so
Well,
they could probably do that stuff.
That's what I figured what they would be doing. But I mean, depending on how big of an area they want, I mean, I'm just thinking of what the specs would be for the requirement to run the game too.
Yeah, I don't know, and they have to release it on consoles too, so they've got that hardware that which may or may not be. So I don't know. People are just blowing it way out of proportion, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of crying and a lot of being let down. And they had such a good thing going. Why did they screw this up? Those game developers are terrible. It's like you guys brought this upon yourself for hyping it up so much.
Yeah.
Well, they've got a lot of promises, but I feel like the fandom is just taking it for. It's already a fandom. They're taking it further than I think it. Personally, I think that it should be going, but
I agree.
We might be wrong in thinking that if you viewer have a different opinion.
Who's making it?
I'll have to look that up, but
some guy in his garage.
Garage.
He's called Bill Gates.
No Man's Sky developer.
I don't know. I feel that kind of
from
the same way with Fallout 4.
Hello Games, which I don't believe has made anything else.
Oh God! If they made Hello Kitty, I'm out of here.
Island Adventure 2.
Oh wow! Okay,
that
was
what?
A long time ago.
What? Hello Kitty's Island Adventure 2?
Yes.
That's the game everybody always teases when it comes to comparisons.
Talk about underhyped.
So that one, like I want it to deliver on all the promises it has, and I'm willing to be incorrect and tempering my expectations so much and kind of condemning, viewers for hyping it up as much as they are. But I'm just trying to keep realistic expectations here because I don't want it to be ruined.
I feel like it's a bigger issue in the gaming industry kind of a thing because we have all these paid alphas to join.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I feel like companies are just either too pressured to put something out when it's not done, or are willing to put something out because idiots are paying for it before it's done, kind of a thing, and we're just suffering in quality, kind of a thing.
They're all following Minecraft's example because they had pay to get into the beta or whatever, and you can get it. We're gonna keep adding on to it. And they've been wildly successful with Minecraft, so everybody else is like, well, Minecraft did it, so why can't we?
Yeah, well...
So, I don't know, but anyway, like, nothing is more hyped for me at this point than No Man's Sky. It's just
first I've heard about it.
Raining down on it. So, I want it to be good, but I don't have the most faith in it.
Star Citizen or whatever.
Star Citizen I was going to add onto my list, but I am not as informed about Star Citizen. The only knowledge I have from it is Adi's praise for it.
Oh. Well, Jake also talks about it too.
Okay, so...
so, yeah, it basically sounds like a bit like EVE Online kind of a thing.
Okay.
But you do whatever you want. And if you don't know what EVE Online... It sounds like you get to choose, do you want to be a pirate? Do you want to do transport? Do you want to go... It sounds like a lot of space exploration and transporting and everything. And to be honest, they keep adding stuff, but I've heard so much about it, and yet it doesn't seem like it's going as fast as it should, kind of a thing. So I'm thinking they'll hit a brick wall at some point and just nothing.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel like it'll just
disappear.
Keep throwing money at it, and it'll be something people who threw the money at it pretend to be super into for a little while until it just fades.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's almost what Destiny was.
I don't have enough... I lost interest in Destiny as soon as they said, this is only coming out for consoles. And I'm like, I'm a PC gamer, I'm sorry.
I think Jess is playing Destiny in another room currently.
So, the designs look great in Destiny, and I know a lot of people are having a lot of fun with their friends in Destiny. But as soon as they were like, it's not a PC release, I'm like, well, my friends and I who play games on PC are not interested, or at least I'm not interested.
Yeah.
It tuned itself out to me immediately, so I didn't get a lot of that hype.
I only play on consoles, and I don't care about it.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I think hype is a bad thing overall.
It's become predominantly a negative connotation. I think it can help things, but off the top of my head, I can't really. Like, indie games are the only things that I think deserve a little bit of hype because they don't have the money to do advertising
Mm-hmm.
the way like a
They
AAA.
need it to survive.
Yeah, like they can't get Mountain Dew and Doritos to sponsor them, so they can advertise their shooty game.
Please eat verification chip.
Yeah. So, like, Call of Duty, we loved Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I loved the whole Modern Warfare series, and I mean that was really hyped. And then just
until they sold out.
Yeah, well, I don't even know about that. It's just the story stagnated a lot.
Basically, Black Ops 1 was when Mountain Dew got in their hands on it and everything.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's when you had the code. You buy the product, get the code for bonus experience and everything. Black Ops was when that first started.
Mm-hmm.
And to us, that's its downfall. That's when it became a Twitch shooter.
I will admit that I totally bought into the hype for Black Ops because people kept talking about it, and knowing how much I loved the Modern Warfare series, and it was like, well, this is a new one. They made World at War, which I didn't play. I saw somebody play it, and they had fun with it. So whatever, I'll go to Best Buy and I'll pick it up because I wasn't originally going to. And we played it for like a month or two, and it was like, I can't handle this anymore. It's the same map that people keep playing in multiplayer. The single player, the story was predictable to me. It was okay, but I'm one of the weird people that only really plays Call of Duty for the single player now. And
everyone was using the same gun too.
Yeah, and it's just become less and less of a focal point because it used to be like, all right, we've got the single player, and once you're done with the single player, play the multiplayer, and it's like equal ground for both, I felt. And then the further the series, I think starting with like Modern Warfare 3, it was like we're going to pay less attention to the single player. The graphics look great in the single player, the animation was really good, but like the story, it just kept lessening and lessening in length. And I wanted to experience it more because I liked the world that it had established. And then once they basically concluded that arc, and they went over to Treyarch, it's like I don't really care about these characters that much. It's basically doing a plot line that I saw, like I figured out pretty early on, so it didn't have that twist that it was supposed to, and it just felt really short. And then after that, like I bought Ghosts, hoping because it was the same developer as Modern Warfare, that it was going to be good.
That's our dad!
I enjoyed a couple missions, mainly the one where you're with I can't remember his name, but it's the infiltration mission. That was really cool.
That one mission in that $60 game
with the sharks.
The one where you're hanging around with Varric, basically.
I think it was called High Rise.
Possibly. It's in like Hong Kong.
You rappel down that building,
Yeah. That one felt very Call of Duty to me, and that was a lot of fun. That was like, it harkened back to all the things I liked about Call of Duty, but as a whole, the game, they just focused too much on multiplayer for me to retain interest. So, and the people just kept hyping it up, and I'm like, I don't want this anymore. Just get it away from me. So I specifically did not buy Advanced Warfare because I had been tricked in the past.
Yeah. Well, basically what multiplayer got killed for me is you can no longer snipe in the game. There are no big maps. Everything's small, condensed, and just twitch shooting. And don't get me wrong, if I want to play that style, I will definitely play that. But there are times where I just want to sit back and snipe and do objectives. And no, everyone wants to play team deathmatch.
Yep. So, like, with Battlefront, do you think they don't have any dedicated sniper rifles in the main weapons?
I've been doing pretty good with that thing.
Okay, you got the plasma rifle. I've seen the cycler carbine, which is later.
Cycle rifle. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't used it, but I've seen some people use it, and they seem to like it. All right. Did you get a chance to use that, Dale?
No. Next rank, I get to unlock it.
All right. Do you wish that they had more sniper type weapons?
I do, but at the same time, I understand how too powerful it would be in the game.
Okay.
Because
there are some maps.
the places it spawns you would be prime suspect for a sniper attack, kind of.
The one location I can think of specifically is in the AT-AT assault, or the Walker assault, on Hoth.
Yeah.
When you get to that like last push, there's
Yeah.
just that open field of snow
Right.
that would be perfect for snipers.
It would be. But like I said, yeah, I feel like either that or they did it to make people push forward, kind of a thing, instead of having half of your team as snipers sitting
That's a
back
really,
kind of
really
thing.
good point.
Because that happened, like in Battlefield, that would be
Yeah.
half of the team would be just sitting back and sniping.
You get the guys on like an Afghan ridge, and it's just like, well, all right, we're just gonna sit here the entire game and just snipe. I got you. But I mean, we're getting off topic of hype, and we should probably wrap that up anyway. But
That's fine.
if I listed some of the games that I thought were overhyped, but if
You hear that, Internet? You're not allowed to play those games now.
We will
if you
find you and mock you.
You do what you're told by us.
If you disagree with any of those, or you think of a different game or movie
You can
or
cram it with
franchise
walnuts.
that you think is overhyped or underhyped or hyped just the right amount, let us know in the comments. Or don't.
We won't read it.
Or send angry emails.
Or send. Thanks for bringing up email, Dale. You can file those under the LongCon podcast, all one word, @gmail.com.
Yeah, you can just tell me on social media. I'll get right back to you, I promise.
Just Tumblr him.
Yep. Yeah. Hit me up on my Tumblr.
Nick's gonna take a tumble down a hill. Anyway, this has been the LongCon podcast. Thanks for joining us. And,
we're done now?
Yeah, we are. We're wrapping. This was our end push.
All
So Dale and I are gonna go play some Battlefront. Nick, wish you could join us. See you next month.
Later,
Hopefully.
chums.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, jackass.